YouTube will notice this. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting for this to happen to you, and it's really exhausting to see this happen to other people, which we'll get to later in the video. So after that stream, things mostly died down. Mostly because I'm pretty sure Low Tier God knew that Keemstar was watching, right? His team was on him, and if he tried to release any information like that again, then, you know, they'd be on him. And since then, he hasn't released my info from what I can tell.
Custom.
But he has still talked about me a lot. I mean, just like 3 days later, he had the goal to upload this video playing the fucking victim after he doxed me. Anyways, guys, I've been recording this for about 7 hours today, and I'm pretty fucking exhausted. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. So, I got about 5 hours of sleep, and I'm back. Welcome to day 676. So, did you guys like that intro of me getting into the chair, putting my headphones on, you know, drinking water, getting the mic ready? The truth is, I started recording, I hit play, I was already sitting down, and I stood up, then went to sit back down for the shot. Which is pretty funny because it's pretty obvious when people do that. Your computer isn't always recording all the time, which is exactly what happened here. Let me get back to that. So, man, 3 days later after he doxed me, I made a video called Addressing the Internet because he's done stupid things like this that, you know, pissed off the internet 3 times.
Capture the flag. Flag taken. Flag dropped. Flag reset. Flag taken. Game over. Capture the flag. Suicide.
Already. I mean, there's more after this, but you know.
Brand new mascot design with new yellow and orange checkered vest, bright colors, and rounded features, like the ears. He also had red rosy cheeks added. His vest also included a place where his long pink rat tail could be placed so kids wouldn't step on it or pull it. Fun fact, the new vests were silkscreen printed to ensure that every vest was the exact same. The animatronics also received redesigns with a less realistic approach and simpler movements. They were also bigger and bulkier. Speaking of the animatronic, I found this obscure Chuck E. Cheese mascot costume from the late 70s, early 80s, which had a head similar to the animatronic. I could only find a single picture of this, and there's no information on it. Can anybody in the comments section please help me out? Do you know anything about this thing? The logo changed this time, including a new Chucky and different font with simpler colors. Also beginning in the 1980s, Pizza Time Theater started producing commercials to promote their restaurants. And while at first the commercials were very simple, the company realized that they needed to have Chuck in the commercials. So Chuck began to show up in more commercials, but they used the normal mascot costume. And so Pizza Time Theater once again went back to the drawing board. While brainstorming how Chuck can have a bigger presence in the commercials, somebody remembered the original idea Nolan Bushnell had with the original rat costume. The idea being that the rat mascot would be able to talk. So the advertising team decided to revive the idea of a talking Chuck in the commercials, and this time, it succeeded.
When my mom asked me where to go for my birthday, I said Chuck E. Cheese's.
To be used throughout the 80s before disappearing in the late 80s only to resurface in the early 90s for a short amount of time. While Chuck was doing his thing in the commercials and in the restaurants, the company was going through some changes and felt like it was time for Chuck to change a little bit, and so he did.
This is the place where the
with a new Chuck design that was taken from this special. The special was going to be aired on NBC during Christmas 1983, but something happened that would kill this project. The infamous video game crash of 1983. Since the crash caused a huge effect on Pizza Time Theater, the special was cancelled and never released, though all the voice work and music was done. And this eventually led to a big change with Chuck himself. In the special, John Weidlock reprised his role as Chucky, but during the recording session, Bushnell and the engineers were displeased with Weidlock's inability to sing, so they went to find a different voice actor that would be able to provide the singing voice for Chuck. The company eventually chose fellow Pizza Time Theater voice actor Scott Wilson, who at the time was the voice of the character Mr. Munch, to provide only Chuck's singing voice in the special. However, when Wilson sang the special's final song, on his first take by the way, the company decided to make him the new voice of Chucky on the spot.
Now you can have one of these Chucky t-shirts for your very own for only $2.99. And I'll give you a coupon for tokens worth $3 on your next visit.
Around this time, Chuck's personality began to change from his 1977 self. He went from being a wisecracking bully to a friendlier rat that had more depth and appeal. We can trace all of these changes back to Scott Wilson himself. He was kind of responsible for making Chucky as iconic as Mickey Mouse or Ronald McDonald. He also voiced Chucky during some big changes and expansions made, and one of those changes wasn't so good. In the following year, 1984, Pizza Time Theater was starting to struggle.